Trends on the Weekend Show. This is the segment of the show where we present to you some of the biggest issues that have shaped conversations in the Nigerian social media across the past week. Well, a lot has happened politically, across entertainment, and so many issues have been trending all through the week. But first of all, we'll take a look at the big political events that happened this past week. Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso officially declared to run for president, and also during the week, we saw Senate President Bukola Saraki declaring also to run for president. But let's take a look at how that panned out on the Nigerian social media, especially on Twitter. We go straight now to Twitter and take a look at tweets from Nigerians and reactions from Nigerians and how that has been generating conversations. Senate President Bukola Saraki declared to run at an event organized by YIAGA. YIAGA has been the lead organization driving the Not Too Young to Run campaign. And joining me now is Chioma Chuka, who is a communication handler for YIAGA. Chioma, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you on the show this morning.
Yes.
Not Too Young to Run, a lot has been happening. First of all, Kwankwaso declared to run, and he declared with a very massive crowd. And then the next day, Saraki declared in a small gathering at Sheraton. And that gathering was an event organized by YIAGA for PDP young leaders who are aspiring for office. And you saw the backlash that followed. What really happened?
So the first thing, and you know, while I say thank you for having me on the show, I think it's also a brilliant opportunity to set the record straight, yeah? So the event was actually organized by the PDP.
Oh.
The Not Too Young to Run campaign has been on it's a journey. And so the first leg of the journey was to get the bill passed. And we went the entire route of going to the National Assembly and then to the State Houses of Assembly, where we got 33 yeses, back to the National Assembly for onward transmission to the President. And then the bill was signed into law on May 31st, 2018. Now, the next leg of that journey was, how do we create spaces for young people within political parties to be able to contest positions, to not be told to step down or wait their turn, to not be bogged down by, you know, the really expensive prices, you know, for the nomination forms, for all of those little things. And so we decided to take the advocacy to the political parties. And so we planned a series of engagements. The first one with the PDP. There's one with IPAC happening next week, and then there's another one with APC happening next week as well.
So what was all the drama about?
To be honest, we had gone to that meeting to advocate for young people within the parties. We'd reached out to the leadership of the party, so to the national, you know, to the national chairman and to the, you know, to the leadership of the party, to tell them, we are coming to your meeting because we want you to listen to the young people within your party who, via our Ready to Run platform, have said to us that these are the barriers that they have. So we want to come and help you facilitate this meeting. So that's the first port, you know, port of correction. PDP actually organized the meeting.
So
we came there
in to help facilitate.
Not YIAGA, the Not Too Young to Run movement, which is made up of about 55 organizations. And during that meeting, you know, the Senate President pulled what he pulled. As a matter of fact, we have good cause to believe that even, you know, the national chairman of the PDP wasn't aware he was going to declare.
So was it not an overreacting on the part of the Not Too Young to Run, your campaign?
I don't think it was.
When you issued that disclaimer.
I mean, I mean, even listen to what you said, right? You said at an event organized by YIAGA, the Senate President declared.
But you've just brought more clarity
exactly,
into it.
and we needed to make it absolutely clear for the young people who have believed in us over the last 2 years that we are not standing behind any candidate. Our mandate is to ensure that young people have the opportunity.
Let's take a look at this tweet. Not Too Young to Run have forgotten so soon that a Bukola Saraki Senate presidency was the propelling force which enabled the bill to become law at KC Niger. The impression that a lot of young people seem to have is that
we're ungrateful.
Yes,
which is unfortunate because I think that, I mean, if you look at the Senate president, he's a tripartite being, right? So he's first an individual. He's the president of the Senate of the Federal Republic. He's also the national, you know, he's also one of the national leaders of the PDP. When we engaged with his office and with the office of Yakubu Dogara, who is the head of the House of Representatives, we engaged with them in that capacity. And so we went to them and we advocated for the passage of the bill. Yeah. By the time we went to the PDP, we went to the national chairman because you must establish structures. We didn't go to Mr. You know, to the Honorable, you know, Bukola Saraki because he's not the chairman of the PDP. as we're engaging with the APC now, we're not going to Mr. President. We're going to the national chairman of the APC. Same way we're going to the leadership of IPAC, because you must establish structure. And we must show our peers, young people who have believed in us over these past few years, that there are appropriate ways to do things. And if we had bypassed the national chairman of the PDP to go to, Senator Bukola Saraki, we'd be disrespecting the office. The same way that when the office of the Senate President was disrespected, Nigerians spoke up, because it wasn't about Bukola Saraki, the individual. It was about the office. And so we're trying to think very strategically about the offices and about, the intentionality between the things.
Can we take a look at more tweets, please? Let's take a look at more tweets. Saraki has just displayed why he can never be trusted. You hijacked a youth movement to declare your presidential ambition. The idea is to position yourself as a youth among older contestants. This is so fraudulent. That's Bayo Lokbounda, that's the editor of Naij Online, editor-in-chief of Naij Online newspaper. So again, the impression was that the Senate President hijacked an event organized by you, but now you've just brought some clarity into that by saying that it was a PDP event and Not Too Young to Run was invited to facilitate.
But the word hijack, I mean, it's not out of place, because, I mean, if you look at the function or the purpose for that event, we went to say, give spaces to young people within your party.
Only for one of the old people in the party to use the platform to declare.
Okay,
and, let's take a look at more issues that trended across the week. Just very interesting video on Channel 4. Theresa May.
I watched this one.
Did you watch this particular one?
When they were asking her, what did you do? What are you?
When Nelson Mandela was rotting in jail. And what interested me about this was the way the journalists kept
pushing and
persistently.
pushing.
And that's because when you see that kind of that same attitude being condemned here by Nigerian government officials, I say journalists are too combative, journalists are giving too much problems. But I thought it was quite interesting. Let's take a look at that video very quickly. Okay, we'll go on to other issues now, so wait for that video. 87 million Nigerians live below $1.90 a day, making it home to more very poor people than any other nation in the world. Theresa May made that statement before she came to Nigeria, and she danced in South Africa. She didn't dance in Nigeria.
What is she dancing for? Abi, why are we dancing? Like, where's the music? Where's the music when we have 10-point-something million children out of school? We have the highest out-of-school children on the planet. So giant of Africa, where's the giant?
Interesting.
What are we dancing
for? Let's take a look at other issues that have been trending. Buhari has been to the USA to visit Trump, received Theresa May, and expecting Merkel. That's acknowledgement of his work, is it not?
Please.
What do you think?
Please, let's not be children, I beg. Like, please, I beg. I'm not even here for this. Let's not be children. And I saw
there's a tweet from NGR President, the official hand of the president.
And then they're listing the people who have visited.
Of people that have visited. And I'm wondering, like, is this supposed to be an achievement?
See, when I was younger, I mean, at Christmas time, we would all go to visit our uncles to go and collect money. So should they now say, okay, this uncle is doing well because all of us came? Some of them were broke, right? But it was a tradition. All of us visited. The truth is, as part of diplomatic activities, these presidents move around. Heads of government move around, right? Everyone is, and I think when we think that these people are coming, they're not coming here to bless us, in quote. I was at a meeting, I think 3-4 years ago, that really put this thing in perspective for me. I won't mention the government, but their high commissioner at the time was saying, my purpose in this country is to ensure the progress of my country in your country. So I'm not here to give you rice and beans or whatever. Everything I am doing here is to ensure that the citizens of my country in your country prosper.
Precisely.
So the sooner we take that on board, the sooner we stop looking, to other countries visiting us as either an indication that we're doing excellent or an indication that, we're the place to visit. I mean, for all intents and purposes, they might be telling us to stay in our country.
Stay in our country. Okay, very quickly, Kingsley Moghalu was also trending during the week. Fela Durotoye.
Please.
And PACT did not produce a truly consensus candidate, says Moghalu. Of course, some presidential aspirants came together to select a consensus candidate for 2019, and Kingsley Moghalu was part of that process. And Fela Durotoye emerged, and now Kingsley is crying foul.
I mean, see, there's a thing about somebody really playing themselves, right? I feel like Mr. KM played himself.
He played himself.
I mean, yeah, I really think, because I feel like he'd built so much mileage over the past year with the work he'd been doing, reaching out to people, etc., etc. But, and then to now come out and say he did not produce a truly consensus candidate because you lost, it's a little childish.
Wow.
I believe in him. right? I believe in the things in his movement and in his conversations everywhere, but you know, this whole thing is just, it's taking all of them a bit back. You know, that's what I think.
Well, thank you very much, Chioma Agwegbo. Chioma Agwegbo is a communication handler for Not Too Young to Run campaign. She's been my guest on the social media trend segment of the weekend show. Thank you for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to have you. Yeah, we've been talking social media trends, but I'm afraid this is the part where we draw the curtain on this segment of the show. And at this point, I'd like to invite Kelechi Onwundewe, our sports correspondent, to present to you some of the biggest issues that have been happening in the world of sports. Stay tuned.